Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Sachin here. Hi, it's day 3 today. We headed back to the main restaurant to have some breakfast. We woke up early today and got ready for another day of exploring. Today, we're heading to one of the most incredible places in New Zealand's South Island, which is none other than Mount Cook. I've been really looking forward to this part of the trip because the scenery on the way, they're supposed to be absolutely beautiful. So, with a quick breakfast and everything packed, we're hitting the road and making our way towards Aoraki Mount Cook. So, let's see what this day has in store for us. On our way to Mount Cook, we made a quick stop at Kawarau Gorge, just outside Cromwell. We weren't planning to stay for long, but when we saw the view, we just couldn't drive past. So we just pulled over and took a few photos and just enjoyed the beautiful scenery. Honestly, it was such a nice surprise. One thing I'm really enjoying about this trip is that even the drive itself has so many beautiful spots to discover. You can be on the road 1 minute and then suddenly you see a view like this and you just have to stop. If you have already seen my first 2 videos, you know what I mean. The views are absolutely breathtaking. Okay, so we have left Queenstown and now we are making our way towards Aoraki Mount Cook. It's roughly a 3.5 hour drive, but honestly, I don't think we could ask for a better road trip. The views along the way are just incredible. We are driving right through the mountains with these huge peaks on either side of us, and every now and then we get a glimpse of beautiful lake or a wide open valley. It feels like the scenery just keeps getting better the further we go. I've found myself saying wow so many times because you really can't get used to the views like this. Even just sitting in the car and watching the landscapes go by feels like part of the adventure. After being on the road for a while, we were getting pretty hungry, so we decided to make a quick stop for some lunch. We came across a little cafe called the Wrinkly Rams and thought, why not? We grabbed a couple of pies which were honestly perfect for a road trip. Nothing too fancy, just a warm, filling lunch before getting back on the road. We had a quick break, stretch our legs, grab something to eat, and then it was time to continue our drive towards Aoraki Mount Cook. Sometimes, these little unplanned food stops end up being the part of the fun of a road trip. We are getting closer to our final destination and now I'm really excited to finally see it in person. But before heading there, we are making a few little stops along the way to take photos and enjoy the views. But for the most part, we are just enjoying the drive. There's something really peaceful about being on the open road, surrounded by mountains and nothing but the nature. We also made another little stop along the way at High Country Salmon, just outside Twizel. It's a working salmon farm set in the middle of the beautiful high country landscape, with the salmon rest in the clear, flowing glacial waters. And of course, we couldn't live without buying some sashimi. The sashimi was around 20 New Zealand dollars per 100 grams, which is roughly around 17 Australian dollars. And honestly, the salmon was so good. It tasted really fresh and you could tell the quality was amazing. We had a look around and got to see the salmon up close. And of course, we couldn't leave without taking a few photos. It was actually a really nice little stop, something different from all the mountain views and driving we'd been doing. They also have a floating cafe and you can even feed the salmon. So it's quite a popular stop for people traveling through this area. Now that we've had our little salmon stop, it's time to get back on the road and continue towards Aoraki Mount Cook. And there it is. We can finally see Mount Cook. After hours of driving through all those beautiful mountains and landscapes, seeing the peak come into view is such an amazing feeling. It honestly looks even more incredible in person. The mountains around us are huge, but Aoraki Mount Cook just stands out. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and it makes the whole drive completely worth it. We are finally here. The views are just unreal. And now we've finally started our walk here in Aoraki Mount Cook National Park. After spending so much time in the car today, it feels really good to get out and stretch our legs. We are doing the famous Hooker Valley Track, which is about 10 kilometers return and usually takes around 3 to 4 hours, depending on how many times you stop along the way. And knowing us, we are definitely going to be stopping quite a few times because there are views everywhere. And I'm someone who takes way too many photos. Right from the beginning, the scenery is incredible. We are walking through this huge alpine landscape, surrounded by mountains, and Aoraki Mount Cook is always somewhere in the background. It honestly feels like we've stepped into a completely different world. When I first heard it was 10 kilometers, I honestly wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it all the way. But once we started walking and I saw the views around us, I completely forgot about the distance. There was so much to see along the way that it never really felt like we were doing such a long walk. Before I knew it, we were already well into the track. One of the things I'm really looking forward to on this walk is crossing the swing bridges. There are 3 bridges along the track, and each one gives you a different view of the valley and the rivers below. The track also takes us past Mueller Lake and Mueller Glacier, so there's a lot to see along the way. And the further we walk, the more beautiful it gets. You've got the mountains towering above you, the glacier-fed rivers flowing through the valley, and these wide open views that just make you stop and look around. I think that's what I'm enjoying most about this walk. It doesn't feel like we are simply walking from one point to another. The whole journey is the experience. Every few minutes, the scenery changes, and there's another view that makes you want to take out your camera. And because we are here in March, the weather is actually quite comfortable for walking. It's autumn in New Zealand, so it's not too hot, but it can feel quite cool around the mountains, especially when the wind picks up. March to May generally has daytime temperatures around 17 to 20 Celsius across New Zealand, although it can be cooler around Mount Cook because of the alpine conditions. We were very lucky with the weather because it was comfortable enough to walk without getting too hot. I'd still recommend bringing a light jacket though, because the temperature can change pretty quickly up here. We are taking our time today, so we are not really thinking about how far we have left to go. We are just enjoying the walk, taking photos, stopping whenever we see something beautiful, and taking in the fresh mountain air. Honestly, after the long drive from Queenstown, this feels like the perfect way to experience Mount Cook. You can see the mountain from the road, but walking through the valley and being surrounded by all this scenery makes it feel completely different. The track eventually takes us towards the Hooker Lake, where you can get those incredible views of Mount Cook. Depending on the season, you can even see icebergs floating in the lake, which is pretty amazing to see up close. And finally, we've made it to Hooker Lake. After walking all this way, seeing the lake in front of us makes it completely worth it. The mountains surrounding us are absolutely incredible, and the whole place feels so peaceful. We are just going to take a moment here, enjoy the view, and of course, take way too many photos. Honestly, this is one of those places that looks beautiful in pictures, but seeing it in person is something else. Honestly, I don't even know how to describe how beautiful this place is. Standing here with the lake in front of us and those massive mountains all around us feels almost unreal. We ended up spending about an hour here, just admiring the scenery, taking photos and enjoying the peacefulness of this place. We weren't in any rush to leave because every time we looked around, there was something else to appreciate. After the long walk, sitting here and taking in the view was honestly the perfect reward. This is definitely one of those moments from the trip that I know we'll remember for a long time. And it was finally time to start making our way back. As much as we didn't want to leave, we still had the whole walk back ahead of us. The funny thing is, the view looks completely different from this direction, so we kept stopping and looking around again. We were a little tired by this point, but honestly, it didn't really matter. We'd had such an amazing time and the scenery made the way back just as enjoyable. It was the perfect way to finish our Mount Cook adventure. We walked so much, taken way too many photos, and honestly, I think my legs are going to feel it tomorrow. But it was completely worth it. The mountains, the lake, the waves along the track, everything was just unforgettable. Now we're heading back, feeling tired but very happy. And I think this is the perfect way to end our Mount Cook adventure. Thanks for coming along with us, and I'll see you in the next video.